Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Programming with a Purpose. In this video, we are going to explore strings as well as collection types in SwiftUI. So first we are going to create a playground file and name it. And as you can see that once we maximize it, we'll be able to see an import statement and a variable greeting, which is a single line string. And it is enclosed in double quotes. If we want to create a multi-line string, we need to use triple quotes at the starting and at the end of the string. So here you can see that we have created a constant of quotation, and once we are going to print it, you are going to see that there is a top space of one line and a bottom space of one line, which we are going to remove on line number 6 and 8, and it is going to be printed with a single line. We can also pass Unicodes to our string variables and constants. So here I am copying a Unicode and I am pasting it here, and you will be able to see that on the right hand side that the sign contains a teddy bear now. Now you can see that I have created another variable with the name of escape quote strings. And what we are going to do here is basically I'm going to show you how you can write quotes inside a string. So you have to use a slash to escape those quotes, and once you print it, you will be able to see the quotes around the line the quotes are visible. So this is how special characters that are escaped generally in strings can be printed. Now there is another variable we have created with the name of empty string, which is an empty. These are two ways to initialize a string as an empty string. Either you can use the string constructor or a simple string. And if you want to check it, you can simply check it by empty string dot is empty. If it's empty, it is going to print string is empty, which is in our case. You can also check the length of the string with using the dot count, and here it is equal to 0. That also means that the string is empty. Here I am iterating over the escape quote string character by character and printing each of the character, and once they are printed, you will be able to see that each of the character appears as one character in a single line on our console. After that, I am appending another string to my empty string to put some of the content inside the empty string. So this is how you are going to append or add another string to the previous string by using a compound assignment. Here you can see that I am printing the string, and now it has the character hello inside it, the string component. Strings are value types, which means that a copy is passed wherever we are going to pass the string and not the actual memory location. So we have the original string somewhere in the code, and we are going to pass copies, and that copies will be manipulated and changed inside each of the function. Here I am creating an array of characters with the name with 3 characters cat, which means cat, and once I am going to pass it to a string constructor, it is going to compose a string of those characters. And if you are going to just print the characters, you will see that C, A and T in the form of an array is printed. Now I am commenting out some of the lines. After that, we are going to discuss string interpolation. String interpolation means that you can add different type of variables inside our string, and how you are going to add it, you are going to basically use a slash and rounded brackets to escape the string, and then there you will be adding the variable name. You can add any other variable value inside these strings, and in this way you will be able to print a single string. So you can see that I have uploaded 3 videos up till now with using 3 from the variable name number, which is of type int. We can also add a type double or any other type like float and some other types inside our string. So here I am adding the duration double of this much duration minutes. Now let's see how we can access the indices of a string. Just like we access indices inside an array or a collection type, we can do this with string as well. So here I am copying my variable greeting is equals to hello playground from the top, and as you can see that there is a print statement of greeting dot start index, and as you can see that it has printed a component which is index something, which is the inherent basically type to handle indexes inside Swift. So I am going to get it, pass it to my greeting variable, and when I'm going to pass the subscript, you can see that it is going to print the H, the first element of the greeting string. After that, I'm going to use the get the index at a certain location. So before greeting.start index, there will be like H is the first one, and after we are going to basically, after the start index, it will be E. After the start index there will be E, and before the end index it will be D. You can see on the right hand side. These are the two values we are going to access using getting index, using before and after parameters. After that, we are going to get a certain index at a location and with a certain offset. So we are going to print it, and as you can see that it will be printing O. So that means it is on the 4th position from the start index. So in this way you can access all of the indices inside the greeting.indices. And here it is going to print all of the characters inside a string, and you can add a terminator to make it more readable and printed on a single screen. So here I am creating another variable message, and I have passed my greeting variable string to it, but it's declared before, so we need to basically change the name of the variable. And here I am going to insert an exclamation mark at the last index of my message. So it means that hello playground exclamation mark will be the output. You can see on the right hand side. The statements that are printed will appear on the bottom console, but the string that are not printed, you can see their values on the right hand side. So here I am inserting contents of an empty string, which is basically hello at greeting.index. So hello playground and hello world is appended on basically the last exclamation mark, and two are further added because we are playing the code from a certain location. If you want to change it, you need to comment some of the lines. So here I am removing a certain character from a string at an index. So we need to find that index using any of the code we can use, like message1.endIndex. So I'm going to remove the last character of the string. It is giving me an error. So I'm using the getting the index from before location. So it means that the exclamation mark will be removed. This is passed here. Now if I print message1, you can see that one of the exclamation mark is removed. Okay, so this is how we can remove a certain character at a location in a string. After that, I am creating another string with the name of another string and passing it our greeting variable with a certain half open range that we have discussed in lesson 1. And as you can see that there is an index, so we need to get that index. What is that index? We are going to get the complete string from the starting up to that index. So the index is basically the first index of the location of E, or basically we are going to pass the end index. So this is the way the line number 64 is one way of handling an optional. So here you can see that H is printed because E is the second character, so the first character only H will be printed in another string. So here I am showing you how you can test that two strings are equal. You can simply use a double is equal to. But since both of them are not equal, empty string 1 is empty but empty string has hello in it, so they'll be not be equal. So here I am printing something in the else, and it is going to be printed since both of these strings are not equal. So strings are not equal. I am going to put a /n here, which is going to basically move the text in the next line. Here I am printing the finding the suffix in a certain string. So if a greeting has a suffix with name ground, which is in our case it is going to be true, and if I'm going to check it as a prefix, it is going to be returned as false. But once I add hello to it, it'll be returned as true. So this is how we can check the suffix and prefix inside an string. So here I'm commenting out all of this, and we are going to move on to the collection types. So in collection types, we are going to create a variable ints, which is basically an array that contain all of our ints. So it is initialized as an empty array on line number 80, and when I'm going to print it, a single square brackets will be printed. Once I put the components in it, you will see that it is going to print this, and if I change it to a double type, any of the component, it is going to give me an error because all of the elements should be of the same type inside an array. I can also print the total number of elements inside an array with .count. I can append to it as well. I can also update the array with any of the value, since it is a variable array. If I have initialized it with the let identifier, it will not allow me to change it. So here I am going to create another array with the name of another ints, and I am going to pass 4 and 5 elements to it. And here I am going to print both of these arrays. So basically I am appending another ints to int. So this is just like strings, we can use the plus to append elements from two arrays. Here you can get a subscript or a certain element on a certain location at index by just using that integer value of an index inside square brackets. In this way you can simply iterate an array, be it of any type. So it is just like iterating characters in a string type. So here you can see that all of the elements are printed. You can also enumerate an array. In this way you will be able to get the index as well as the value at that index. It is quite a helpful way of iterating over an array. Here I'll be printing the value is at a certain index with a print statement. So this is how we can iterate over an array. These are the two methods. Then I'm going to discuss sets. Sets are pretty much like arrays, but there is one unique property they have, that only distinct values can be added to sets. If you are going to add another value that already exists, it is just going to add only one instance of it. So here I am going to show you how we can initialize a set. So it will contain the keyword set, after that angular brackets, and the type of basically set is added here. So I've added here character, and after that empty rounded brackets. You can see that I am going to print the characters here, and if there is nothing in it, it is going to print as an empty array. And then I am going to insert an element into it using .insert function, and then I am going to print the characters, and it is going to print a set of basically one element. It appears to be as array inside console, but it is a set. So you can do all of the functions that we have used for arrays and for strings, like insert is empty, count works the same for set as for arrays. Also the remove function at a certain index also works for sets. In this way you can check that if a set contains a certain element. You can also use this function with strings as well as for arrays .contains function. So here it does contain an A, so it is going to print set contains A. So in this way, here I am going to show you on line number 118 how you are going to iterate over a set. So for C in characters, print C. It is just like iterating over a string or iterating over an array. So in this way you can see that how we are going to insert other characters. And I'm going to show you here another interesting function that can be applied to arrays as well as on sets. So here I have applied the function of characters.sorted. So it is going to basically sort the characters. Originally they are ACB, and after sorting they will appear as ABC. You can also take the intersection, union, difference, and all of the normal operations that are applied on sets inside normal mathematical theory. All of these can be applied to sets with different specific functions provided by Swift. You can also check the disjoint, subset, superset, as well as other different properties of two sets or more than two sets, depending upon the functions that are provided by Swift. So the next collection type is dictionaries. Dictionary is basically a key value. It contains tuple with a key and a value. So basically the keys will be of type int. Here we have specified on line number 132, and our values will be of type string. So you can see that I have created a dictionary element of 2 and added its spellings as value. Now I am adding another value on line number 132. So in this way you can initialize it with values. Here you can miss even the type annotation, because type inference will help you to determine the type of variable dictionary. So here I have updated a certain value. You can simply update it by providing the index of the key, and after that providing the value on that key position. So here I am printing the dictionary, and as you can see that the values are appended to it. So here I am getting the value of dictionary at a certain key, and since it is an optional, we need to use this unwrapping, and here you can see that the value is printed as 2. Okay, so you are going to print simple value, it is going to print as optional 2, and otherwise if you are going to unwrap it, it is going to print the actual value. Now here you can use this function.remove value to remove a certain value for a key. So here you are going to remove an entry from your dictionary. So here I am basically passing this value inside another value. It is not going to remove the entry but just the value for that key. So here I am going to iterate over a dictionary using a tuple of key and value, and you can print the key and the value corresponding to that key at a certain location using the print statement. So here I am using string interpolation to print the key and value inside a dictionary. In the same manner, you can simply iterate over the key only and over the values inside a dictionary as well. If you just need key for certain functionality, you can just iterate over the key or on the value. So this is how it's done. So this is the iteration of a dictionary. This is more like the enumeration we have done for an array. So here you can convert the dictionary of keys and convert it into an array. So if you are going to convert it into a string, it is going to give you an error because dictionary keys are basically of type int. You can pass it to another array and simply store these keys and values inside separate arrays if you want. In the square bracket you need to provide the type, and in the rounded brackets you are going to print the dictionary.keys or dictionary.values. This is all for lesson number 2. In lesson number 3, we are going to explore control flow statements as well as functions. Stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.